Hey guys, it's Wahima, but just call me Wah. Melanated! Welcome to another episode of 90 Day Fiancé Before the 90 Days. This is episode 3 of season 2. I'm here with my friend Chris Farah.
Hi!
And we're gonna be doing a review for you. Aren't you so excited? All right, so let's jump right into it. It is 1:18 and I'm very tired and we've got to get through this. So the first couple that we're gonna talk about is Ricky and Melissa. Where we left off the last time with Ricky and Melissa is Ricky is at the restaurant waiting for Melissa. He has been waiting for 2 hours and he has decided that it is 9 and anytime between 9 and 9:15, he's gonna leave. He doesn't know when. Anytime in those 15 minutes, he's just gonna get up and walk away.
And I'm gonna be real honest. He wasn't gonna leave at 9:15, honey. No, honey, he was gonna stay until they closed the place down. And
she then sends him that text message. Remember the text that shows that she's in the cab?
Yeah.
And it
outside view.
It just rejuvenates him. Like he is ready to wait another 2 hours once he gets that text message from her. Because as we all know, it's the love of his life.
Yeah, no, it's like Red Bull to his veins, that text. He's up.
She arrives and guess what? Not a catfish. It is actually the person that is in the pictures, except for the fact that she has braces.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's different.
Yeah. We have no idea why she's at all late. Like, later on, the producers are like, why were you late? And she's like, I had plans.
No explanation. She says that Ricky is too intense and that she took a step back and just let things breathe, but she had things to do, and so that's just
manicures, pedicures, schoolwork. She has a lot of homework she has to do.
The man who has been sending her money for the last couple of weeks, she just backed away from because he was too intense and she had plans. So
he's a little intense. I mean, he's like right in front of her face and he like didn't get nary a text back from her and he is there. So I mean like.
Yeah, but you think he's strapping. Like let's tell everybody about the fact that you think he's strapping.
Okay, so when he was waiting at that table, there was like these like side shots of him at the table where it was just like his like back and his like shoulder and so he's like waiting and he just like, I mean, I can't do it, whatever, like I'm not a fan. But he just looked strapping is what I want to know why Wah called me out for it because I'm going to say I thought he was strapping and that to me means bigger arms, you know, like a broader chest, like maybe a little like bigger, like he could lift a coffin. He'd be a pallbearer.
So the next couple that we have are John and Rachel. Let's just do it again. So the next couple that we have are John and Rachel. Okay, so where we left off from the last episode is that John went to Paddington Bear Station to pick up Rachel. They see each other, they love each other, he touches her butt, it's absolutely fantastic, and then he walks them to the car and they have a 3-hour drive to something Supermar. I'm not sure the name of his town, but he loves it. It's his hometown, it's where he grew up. So they're loading little Lucy into the car. John's really confused about like how the car seat's supposed to go. Rachel makes a quintessential American mistake and says, oh, it's weird getting on the car on the wrong side. No, Rachel, it's not the wrong side. It's just a different side. Come on.
Our way is the right way, and we do things the normal way. Whatever way we do things is the way to do it, and every way you guys do it is weird and other, and we don't like it, and it's not the good way.
It's the wrong way. Thank you, Rachel.
Americans.
So they have their 3-hour journey. It looks like it's really, really tiresome. The producers ask them if they have chemistry, and they're both like, yeah, there is chemistry. He even says in the car that he wants to cover.
He wants to be covered in her.
He says that he wants
to be covered in her. You know, like Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley, it gets covered a lot.
I get it now. I get that joke.
Thank you.
All right, so they get to the house and they have a little confessional with Mom, and Mom says that, you know, this is a little weird for her because John in the past has been very, very fickle with women. I mean, in and out of with different types of women. He even says himself that he's been with over 100 different women. His homeboys, his blokes, his mates has said that he's been with a lot of different women. So we're starting to get like a trend that there is something up with John. Like there's some kind of emotional stunt there's something that's just not quite right with him. And we start to see it actually as the episode goes along. Now, I don't necessarily know if it's something that we cannot overcome, that Rachel cannot, you know, grow and like get to know and work with him, but it is something that's very like, you're kind of a child. You're a little childlike. And this whole situation with Lucy is stressing him out. Like, he had to go downstairs and have a cup of tea after like feeding the baby. So it was pretty intense.
Can I say what I think? I think that he has emotional issues or some sort of like personality disorder situations or rage issues or some sort of situation, and all those women, hookers. I think that he's just been with a lot of probably hookers and on one night stands and bars, that because he's high, whatever, probably just gets drunk and like hooks up with women, and his mom has probably seen a parade of the craziest banshees you ever goddamn saw. What's her name? What's the girl's name?
Rachel?
Yeah. Rachel looks different than the other girls I've dated. I was like, what does that mean? But I just feel like are not probably used to like a mom that gave birth not nary 9 months ago or whatever, you know?
Why did you whisper that whole thing? I was waiting for you to end so that I could ask you, but you just kept going. You kept being like, and then the mom said, I don't know why. And then he's like, I think she was cracking. The next couple that we're going to talk about is Angela and Michael. All right, so this one is a doozy. Michael is meeting her at the airport, and Angela is very excited to see Michael. This has been a long trip, and she is ready. And she immediately exits the airport, and she runs and drops her bags and runs on Michael. And the best part of that entire exchange is getting the reaction of all the people around them.
Yeah.
To see that interaction and then to realize that they're obviously in a relationship and she is so old.
Yeah.
Like, Michael is embarrassed. I know he is. Mm-hmm. He's embarrassed and he's doing his very best. I think that we're going to start to see as this season progresses that he says more crazy, rude, outlandish things because he's low-key embarrassed. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it's unfortunate for Angela, honestly. But not to skip ahead. All right, so she runs up to him, she hugs him, they kiss, they're doing a circle with the camera. It's really dramatic. Can you imagine? Like, there's a cameraman literally going around them in a circle, getting the shot, and everyone is watching, and there's people taking video, and there are people who are like Mauser dropped, there's people who's smiling and looking like, what the heck is going on? She has broken luggage, which I find to be hilarious. She traveled so far with like broken luggage, but like, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. He drives them to Lagos Travel Inn, and they're staying together in this hotel, and she cannot wait to get him in that hotel room. I mean, the guy at the desk is like, 2 beds or 1, and she's like, one. They get into the room. She is excited because she's like, I flew all this way and I haven't had sex in a year, and I am ready to get in wherever he can fit in.
Which is probably a couple of places.
He says that he's overwhelmed with Angela because she's loud and she's masculine, but he's very happy, and that she does look slightly different than her picture. And from what I remember in the first episode, the pictures of her that they showed, she did give him younger pictures at that angle that a lot of women like to take their pictures at, and so in order for them to look thinner.
Yeah, it's like if we were like, it's like the, ooh, look from a below angle. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like she did a little bit catfish him. I don't know how many times that they have done face chat. I don't know, but the pictures that we saw that she sent him were definitely younger pictures of herself. So I could see why he's a little confused, but he's trying to go with it because he really wants to get to America.
Yeah.
So she unpacks her. So she's unpacking her stuff. And she's so excited to show him all the souvenirs that she's bought for him. The manga hat and the President of the United States shirt and the bobblehead of the President of the United States. And he is so grateful and so happy for that. It's also weird that like he's trying to like show her things as they're going from the airport to the hotel. And she doesn't know what a street hawker is. She keeps thinking that he's saying a hooker. And he's like, no, hawker. And he spells it out. And she still says,
you mean hooker? No, I think you're saying hooker. It sounds like they're saying streetwalker, a hooker.
Your caricature of her is like crazy.
You know, I'm so sorry. We all can't be like Meryl Streep on our first try of a reenactment.
You think I'm Meryl Streep?
No, I didn't say that.
The next couple that we have is Paul and Karina. Last episode, we left off where Paul has asked Karina to take another pregnancy test. She gets up and she walks back to the hotel. So he's sitting there looking like, boo-boo-da-foo, which is exactly what he is. So they get back to the hotel. On his way back, he buys a pregnancy test, which I'm just like, okay, whatever. And she says she's gonna take it, so she goes and takes it. She comes out of the bathroom and she just starts saying, I'm sorry, which leads him to believe that she's pregnant with El Nino. And she's like, I'm just kidding, I'm not pregnant. And she calls him an insecure idiot.
Do you see what's in front of you, Karina? Like, this whole time you're like, with everything, when he like put the condom on his penis and he like wouldn't get in the water and he was a pansy in the water and everything, you're just like, Karina, are you seeing what's happening? And you're like signing up for it. And so when she finally calls him out, like, oh, you do see all this. I think Karina also wants to come to America. Like, what other reason to be with this man that like literally is an old grandpa, grandma, who just like hunches and runs around everywhere and is scared of everything and is just anxious every time, all the time. It has a criminal background. Your parents are skeptical. Like, I'm just saying, like, why would you put yourself out through that if you didn't like want some other goal besides him? Come on, he's not anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the next scene that we have is Paul going to be with Karina's parents, and he brings a translator, which I think is really smart, to go over the situation about his police record. And Dad has some question, Dad asks those questions, Mom has some question, Mom asks those questions. And it turns out that, you know, Paul's never hit a woman, and Karina even backed that up and said that he's really calm and that she doesn't ever think that he's gonna hit her. And I thought it went really, really well. Like, I think that he explained himself well. I don't know why domestic violence was brought up, because his charges weren't domestic violence. They were arson and insurance fraud and then breaking his restraining order. So, I mean, it all turned out well, and I'm actually happy for Paul. And I'm happy for Karina. Like, if this is what she wants to do and she feels like she's ensuring herself a better future, then like, why not? So the next couple that we have are Hazel and Tariq. So just to remind you guys, Hazel is a 25-year-old girl from the Philippines, or woman from the Philippines, and Tariq is a 43-year-old man, I think from Ohio. He has spent 2 days. He leaves the US looking like an R&B lumberjack, and he gets there looking like he just not the same person. It's been 2 days.
Honey.
The airlines has lost his ticket. He has to buy another ticket. He's stuck in Bangkok for 12 hours. Hazel is back at home with her family, like worried that he has stopped off in Bangkok to see his ex-girlfriend. And so there's a little bit of tension from her when he finally gets there and meets her. And he thinks that she is so beautiful. I mean, even more beautiful in person. And it's actually kind of sweet because her family is there and they made a sign for him and they're all really excited, and she was very, very shy and nervous. And I think, okay, she's actually being truthful. She's not a catfish. She's who she said she was.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she's really gorgeous. I think she's like drop dead beautiful, in fact. I think that she was shading the F out of me. But you know what? I think that she's like serving high cheekbones, wide set eyes, like beautiful full lips. I think that she's really pretty. Honey, he's been in transit. He's like an Amazon Prime package, honey. Like, it does not look good when it's at my door. But I'm sure they packed it nicely when it was at the station.
Yeah, and she even says that he's not the same as in his pictures, that like he's chubbier in person, and that she isn't like quite attracted to him, which I think is a little harsh because he isn't. I mean, he's chubby and he's a good looking guy, like in my opinion. He's not.
I do too.
He's not. He's. You think he's hot?
Okay. I mean, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So then they end up going to this condo. I guess it's like an apartment. And they don't stay at her
apartment.
Yeah. They don't stay at her place because her place is too small. But here's some information that we didn't know prior to this episode. Hazel has a 6-year-old son that she doesn't take care of because she's too poor to take care of him, and he lives with his dad. And so she is talking to the cameras, and she's basically letting them know that the reason why she's interested in finding an American man is because she needs money. Because she's a very, very poor woman who works 10 hours a day for very little, and she can't afford a lot. And having her son back and having an American man with money would mean the world to her. And like, again, it's a trade-off. He thinks that she's the most beautiful woman. He flew halfway around the world to see her. And in person, he's more impressed with who she is. And if she wants to get married, he's going to bring her back to the US so that she can take care of his daughter and her son. Like, Period. Like, that's what's going to happen. And like, I don't think I see anything wrong with that. I mean, she can learn to deal with him. There are plenty of people, like I've said before, who enter into relationships or marriages with people simply based on what that person can give them. Both parties are getting something out of it. And love might not be the first or second thing that's going on, but it eventually comes, or it's fine that it doesn't ever come, but it, mutual respect and understanding.
Who knows? I mean, we'll see what happens or whatever. But I mean, it was very devastating to watch her like really open up about her place in life and what she needs and wants. It's just like, yeah, if she marries him, she can have her son back. And of course, I want to know everything about her backstory with the baby's daddy, like everything.
Right. So hopefully we do get that information, because that would be so interesting to know. So when they're in the condo and she says that everything in that condo is just top of the line, better than what she has at home, and so she's glad that she's staying there with him. She thought that it was going to be 2 beds because he said it was going to be 2 beds. And
she said she can't stay there without there being 2 beds. And he was like, don't worry, there is.
Yeah. And then
get there, surprise, surprise.
It's only 1 bed. And he's willing to respect the fact that she doesn't want to sleep with him. And they put up a barrier in between the beds. She's still pretty closed off to him, and he feels that. He wishes that she would be more open and that
warm.
Yeah, and that she's just not that. And I think it's just because she's nervous. Anyway, so that's really the end of their episode. They end up in the condo at the end of the night, and we hope the best for them. The next couple that we're gonna go on to are Jesse and Darcy. I mean, really, what's to say about this? It's Darcy's birthday. They're walking in the fucking park, and then like they decide to talk about the kids, and then she's like, oh, this is nice. The sun is glaring in everyone's eyes, including mine. He wants to manage her expectations based on her feeling like he could be a good stepfather.
Stepfather. I can't be expected to become a father to these kids at this stage in our relationship.
So the girls get there, and they are 11 and 12, and they look 14 and 15. I mean, they look great. And they're really excited to see Jesse, and one of the girls has a crush on Jesse.
Yeah, you can absolutely
tell.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
New stepdaddy I get to see all the time. I'm so excited. And will you teach me how to kiss like boys kiss? You know?
Mm-hmm. And then they go out, and Jesse has decided that he doesn't want the girls to get too close to him because he doesn't want them to think of him as their stepdad. Which I'm just like, okay. All right, Jesse. Jesse's plan is in action. I don't know. It's really nothing to say about Darcy and Jesse. I'm kind of over their storyline. It's just like, what are we doing here? All right, you guys. So that's the end of this episode. Let us know what you thought about this episode down below. What did you think of Hazel being so honest? What did you guys think of John? You think he's like, my mom's downstairs.
And the mom is just like, do you want me to make you some tea?
Poor Rachel. I mean, this is what she wanted though, and she's like really worried about her body, but like, it is what it is.
I don't want to fight. Please love me. Don't get mad that Wall like tapes with me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to interrupt it, but I want to say something funny sometimes.
I want you to say things. I just might have to cut it out because it might be
babbled. But then maybe she makes me say it again.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to consider becoming a Patreon patron, please click the link down below. Again, this is my friend Chris Farah. Go check out her channel. She sometimes uploads. You can see her main here. My channel is where you're going to see her the most. My channel.
God! That is so mean. I love you so much. But yeah, go to my channel, subscribe to me, and like, maybe I'll like upload a video. And if you want to go to my Twitter and Instagram, it's @ChrisLFarah. Thank you so much.
And remember to be you, be true, and find your place. Bye.